2,965 pound, one owner, barely used, purchased right here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan, J Flight 195 RB. If you want to see if we still have this in stock, what we're asking, if it's available, there's a, well, that's the same as if it's in stock, isn't it? That brought to you by the Department of Redundancy Department, where they can tell you the time in both London and England at the same time. Anyway, moving on. The link in the video description down here, chilly morning by the way, hence the gloves, will tell you if we still have this in stock, what we're asking, all that good stuff. So this, these folks had camped in the past. They had stepped away from camping for a while. This was their grand reintroduction into camping, and they loved it. They had a great time. A lot more than they thought. And in a surprise twist, something that never happens, happened. The grandkids actually came camping a few times, and they realized, wow, if they're actually going to come along, we should make this thing a little bit bigger. So they're swapping this J Flight SLX by Jayco at Haylett RV for a larger bunkhouse J Flight SLX Jayco at Haylett RV. They were so happy with it, they stayed within the exact same family of trailers and dealership despite a short period of ownership, still came back and worked with us. That can often be tricky on the financial end of things. Obviously, we took care of folks. We earned their confidence. They knew we'd treat them right. That should give you an indication of the type of dealership you're working with here. Well, and it makes sense because we only do everything: hitches, pieces, parts, trades, financing, etc. Everything, basically. So, what makes this thing tick? Well, it's one of if it's not the number one, this is one of the #1 selling brands under 20 feet. They're just absolutely getting it done. There's a lot of good campers out there in a small class. I would argue in a lot of ways this has best-in-class construction, really smart appointments. This is a narrow-body mini camper. It's only 7.5 wide as opposed, well, let me back up. You can see the obvious size disparity between the big red monster Winnebago over here and this little Jayco. It's thinner, it's shorter, it tows easier, less headwind. Obviously, that helps keep the weight in check at 2,965 pounds. I mean, technically, minivan towable with really properly equipped minivans, I would prefer to be behind something like a 4,000 pound rated or better SUV, that being said. But I mean, if you're going to local flatland tow, a very small tow vehicle, you might be okay here. This is built just like its big brother full-blown J Flight, with the exception of, you see that front window. Little campers can feel little inside, so they give it the window to add light, which makes it feel not so little. Now you notice we've got tinted windows to keep the UV rays down. That keeps the heat from building up. It also gives you some privacy inside. We have radial tires, galvanized steel wheel wells. God forbid you have a blowout. This has, you can see the original Haylett RV license plate bracket. That should be worth at least $7,000, but, you know, maybe I'm biased. You know, the spare tires never touch the ground. Basically, you're getting, I mean, I should have said this more simply sooner. This is essentially a new trailer for a used price tag. You know, this is exactly basically what they look like today. It's got, this is built to the most newest current specs. This is when they first kicked over to the power awning. You got the outside speakers. That's still what they look like today. The skin package is still even what they look like today. By the way, where you see the darker aluminum bands, they actually use a thicker aluminum to help fight heat, expansion, and contraction. How about that? Carpetless, easy cleaning. Just doesn't get much simpler than that. Someone with hawk eyes on these HD videos is going to say, oh, there's a screw sticking out, something's wrong. Well, that's because this is an access panel to something like a water pump for winterizing. Obviously, like I said, it's chilly, so it's probably winterized right now, or recently was. Original owner's manuals in that Haylett RV emblazoned owner's manual bag, basically, that we give people. Again, should be worth $7,000 more, but we're cutting a deal today, and we're going to just not even factor that into the equation. Just the type of folks we are. Being facetious, obviously. Moving on. So, this is just effectively the smallest camper you can basically get while still having a full walk-around bed. You get any smaller than this and you lose that walk-around ability, or whatever you want to call it, essentially. You have to go to that corner bed, and then you're sleeping with your head against the wall and your feet against the wall. And then you got to crawl over each other like hot dogs on the little spinner tray at the gas station. You know what I mean. Clean. Super clean. I mean, it is just not wore out. Everything's still shiny. Everything's new. Still has a little bit of that new RV smell to it. Windows, quite a bit of windows all over the place. You get some good light, good cross breeze. We've also got a very good LED light package inside, and an extra vent here to both exhaust heat when you're cooking. Heat goes up, and extra light. Speakers inside, speakers outside. The bed does lift for storage, though it doesn't have struts. Again, that's just kind of a price point factor on these. Big side stands with outlets so that you can throw your alarm clocks and CPAP machines and stuff. You do have little shirt hanging closets on both sides with a full overhead cabinet. Now, this front storage that we're looking at, many campers like this in this class often do not have that. That's the extra stuff that I like that the Jaycos do that not every brand does. Now, our little couple's dinette over here, it's almost got like a corduroy look to it, doesn't it? But that is factory. I remember that. Oh, by the way, your windows all have pleated shades as well instead of metallic mini blinds. So our little dinette can fold down into a little grandkid sleeper, which is kind of what prompted the whole, hey, we're going to upgrade thing, because they liked it, but they wanted a little bigger. This also, you can see, doesn't really have like a knee knocker dinette, and there are storage beneath that bench. That one, I can see a device hooked into that bench there. That's your, like, multi-detector, like, propane and stuff like that. God forbid there's a leak. That thing will squeal and wake you up. That's a good thing to have. Hopefully you never need it, though, obviously. Basic entertainment package. This is, not ideal for, like, a 90-inch flat screen or something silly. But this back here, as I tiptoe over, this refrigerator-sized mega closet, this is your best friend. And you've also got the perfect little shoe garage. Now, you see that bucket? That is part of the original starters bundle that they received here at Haylett RV, which, by the way, on a new RV, you don't pay extra for things like that. We do the things that need to be done. That has all your hoses, cables, connectors, and everything in there. Electrical and water surge protectors. And the folks left it in here, which, good for you, because their new camper that they're just buying comes with a fresh set of everything. We want your new camper to be new at Haylett RV. This is an 8,000 BTU side mount air. Most side mount airs are a 5K, which frankly is probably fine in a smaller box, but in some of the hotter southern climates, it just doesn't keep up. Maybe western as well. But this 8K unit keeps up just fine in here, no bigger than this is, and because it's a side mount, it doesn't stick up really tall. This is a small enough trailer that some people have been able to fit it within their garage. Every garage is different. You do your measuring and double check before you go pulling that sucker in there. TV hookups on the wall over here with a nice big open space. You could either put a pedestal TV. Personally, because this is a constructed trailer, which means every 16 inches on average you've got a wall stud, I'd wall mount a flat screen. Then it can swing out to face the dinette. It could swing out to face the bed. But that being said, I probably wouldn't do it at all, because when I go camping, I tend to unplug. But everybody goes camping differently. You camp how you want to. Gas and electric fridge, so you can use this thing in the parks, out of the parks, any park, every park, Wrigley Park. I don't know. They'd probably kick you out of Wrigley Field. I'm not sure. My grandmother, lifelong Cubbies fan. Last year we took her to her first Major League game, and that was the year they won the big show. How about that? I think that was pretty cool. It was also her great-granddaughter's first MLB game at the same time. But enough about me. Adjustable shelving, so that if you have big stuff you want to keep in here, you can. You could also put a small little hanging rod in there and convert that to extra hanging storage. And the one of the things that made the J-Flight punch through the market so hard in the mini camper segment is they all used to have what's called a wet bath. That is where the toilet is in the shower, and it's basically all in a closet. You don't have that here. This has a full, separate bathroom with a skylight and power vent fan and everything. And foot flush stool even. This does everything. This is not, I'm going to give this less than a week before it's gone. That has been the trend on our used RVs lately, especially when we see something nice and late model like this, even bigger baggage doors, everything. This is a cherry piece. If it was just me and the missus, this is probably all we would need. I'd consider buying this thing off our lot myself, but that's not the case, so I don't have to worry about that. So good news, it's going to be waiting for you guys, potentially. And you can verify that via the link in the video description. This is check for price and availability. There's also probably going to be little links popping up here, popping up here, popping up here real quick. Those will direct you to our website where you can see all kinds of fun things or other videos like this Thank you guys for watching. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping.